Dun, 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 dun. All right, well, here we go. You know what? Some Mondays are better than others. This one is going to go down as a not a good Monday. I before I get to the Ravens, yeah, because that's going to dominate most of my attention this morning. I'm just going to go through the rest of the games, and then I'll get to the Ravens because I can't get sidetracked. And I really don't know how I went 1-4 yesterday. I mean, I know how I went 1-4, but I'm watching the games and man, just a collapse. Yesterday was the day to cash the tickets in early. Just ridiculous. So what happened? Colts lose or Colts win. That was the only game I won. Colts win 40-6. They destroyed the Raiders. It wasn't competitive. Great. Don't even need to spend time on it. Dolphins are up 17-0 on the road against the Panthers, and they find a way to lose. And that was great. Man, Dolphins, I really thought they were about to turn their season around. They were forcing turnovers, playing good on defense, and then they're up 24-20 at the end of the game. It's a fourth down play, but the Panthers get it, and that game's over. So that one goes down as a loss, and so does the Eagles game. So the Eagles are up 17-3 at home, and you just felt like that game was over. The Broncos couldn't move. Then it goes to 17-10, and next thing you know, it's the Broncos are going to win the game. They get up 18-17. Got to give Peyton credit for going for two there. Then they push it up to 21-17. And the Eagles had a chance, but they couldn't deliver at the end. One of the worst personal foul roughing the unnecessary roughness calls I've ever seen was in that game. Wouldn't necessarily have helped me with the spread, but the Eagles stopped the Broncos on a 4th and 1 that would have forced the Broncos either kick a long field goal or potentially go for it. Instead, the referee calls an unbelievable unnecessary roughness. The Broncos guys fighting for an extra yard, just a bad call. It hurts the Eagles. They did have a chance, but not really. And that was that. And then the Chargers. So, the Seahawks score 35 points and lose to the Bucks. That's I'm just pissed at myself for going against Baker because I love Baker and I've seen how great he is. And I don't know. And then even the game was going the way I thought it would. When Seattle got the lead, I just figured eventually they would stop them, and they couldn't stop them. So I lose that. But the Chargers game hurts the most because they're up 10-0. Then they're up 10-7. They return a punt for a touchdown to be up 17-7. And they call that back on a roughing the punter. And then it's just over. The Chargers do almost nothing right after that. And Washington just methodically beats the crap out of them, 27-10. So it's a 1-4 day that felt like I was going to be 3-0. Just the way the first three games played out, 3-0 going into the 4 o'clock games. And instead I'm 1-2 and find myself chasing and can't win those last 2 games. Just not great. Not great at all. The Vikings beat the Browns in a thriller, if you want to call it that. It was a weird game. It was a thrilling game if you're gambling on it. If you're just watching for entertainment, it was a lot to be desired. Justin Jefferson's really good at football, in case we didn't know that. Vikings win. The Saints beat the Giants. Giants that was another game. If you had the Giants, you're probably kicking yourself. They're up 14-3. They look good. And it's just turnover after turnover after turnover. Saints win. And the Cowboys destroyed the Jets. Looked almost too easy to take the Cowboys. I guess it was. Cowboys just beat the crap out of the Jets. Jets didn't have a chance. Jets look like a dumpster fire. So you wish you had the Cowboys in that one. The Lions beat the Bengals. The Bengals did interesting things to push the spread or push the total over, but the game was never close. Lions win easily. Titans somehow beat the Cardinals, and I don't know what to do anymore with these guys dropping the ball right before they score a touchdown. It's the weirdest thing ever. I can't explain it. It's like this. When you celebrate in a way that acts like you're not trying your hardest, it feels like a weird flex. Like that's not the celebration to be like, yeah, I'm so good that I barely have to try here to cross the end zone to get the touchdown. Like I don't know why that is such a big flex. I would think my adrenaline is flowing so much. Like I'd be yelling, screaming, spiking a ball, but like this attitude that like I'm too good for the game. Like, yeah, this is just so easy. I'll just flip the ball after you have dozens and dozens. It feels like, of people that do this. Like the first time it happened was Deshaun Jackson in college. I don't even know how long ago that was now. It's like almost 20 years it's been. So what are we doing? But anyway, that's what the Cardinals did. They're about to be up 28-6, and instead they do the unthinkable. They lose to the Titans. And give Cam Ward credit. Cam Ward was really good. He is really good, and the Titans make the most of it. Like, I still don't even know how the Titans won. They missed an extra point. Then they just what a weird game that was. But the Titans win. They win 22-21. The kicker tried to miss the field goal at the end of the game too. But my goodness, if you had the Cardinals in a money line parlay with things, it just what are we doing? I don't understand how that is like so cool to just drop the ball like that before you cross the goal line. Just disappointing for the Cardinals. But all right, I guess that's everything besides the Patriots-Bills games last night, which just is a further indictment that anybody can win any week, because the Bills just don't look very scary at all. Drake May makes a couple incredible throws at the end of the game, and the Patriots win. Just annoyed at myself because I like the Patriots and I just didn't want to take them. But yeah, all right. I guess that's 6 minutes of recapping a hellish Sunday, all to set up what the hell to do with the Ravens. Where are we at? So, for whatever it's worth, this is my take with the Ravens. You cannot blame the coach every single time something doesn't go right, and never give the coach credit when things go well. Like, that is just not logical. So for all the people that are so confused, they're like, man, the Ravens should have fired Harbaugh and hired Mike Macdonald to be the coach. You got to take a step back and realize that you sound like an idiot. You have to say it differently. You have to say, I wish, knowing what I know now, that the Ravens would have hired Mike Macdonald, maybe as he keeps losing at home and can't play defense. But what you can't do is pretend that if you were in charge at the end of the 2023 season, that you would have fired Harbaugh and given Macdonald the job. You got to remember how that year ended, right? The year ended at the AFC Championship game where we didn't run the football inexplicably, but we didn't run the football. But Mahomes went down the field and the Chiefs had the lead. Like, Mahomes was almost perfect in that game. It doesn't mean that it was Mike Macdonald's fault that we lost the AFC Championship game. But if you go to that Monday after the season's over and you lose that game when Harbaugh, it's like, yeah, do you wish he ran the ball more? I wish he ran the ball more too. But part of that is on the offensive coordinator. And then they made the decision to force Derrick Henry onto the team to kind of force the running situation for what we had last year. But the logic couldn't be after that AFC Championship game when you lose at home after the year we just had to get rid of the head coach for somebody who's never been a head coach. Like, you just can't do that. That's not the argument that to get rid of Harbaugh is to get rid of Harbaugh any year, every year, ever since he's been the coach. Because if you don't like Harbaugh, you never liked Harbaugh. The first year he was here, we made the AFC Championship. His record speaks for itself. So if you don't like Harbaugh, you don't have to like him. That's fine. I don't like a lot of things about him either. But to pretend that if you were in charge, and I can't believe we just didn't fire him after we were the 1 seed and it came away from the AFC Championship game thinking, man, if we just played 5 quarters, we would have won. Lamar throws a bad pick. Flowers fumbles the ball. Mahomes goes down the field to start the game. There was nobody who thought after that game, hey, because of what just happened now, you fire him. So if you want to say that we should have gotten rid of Harbaugh, you have to go back before that AFC Championship game. And then I think it's a fair argument to say, you know what, I would have moved off of him a long time ago. But to think we should have moved off of him 2 years ago is just kind of silly. So I want to start with that. That's the first thing, because this Mike Macdonald, oh man, we had the right guy. I hope maybe, yeah, sure. It seems like he's good on defense, except the Seahawks aren't that great on defense. Like, Baker's just carving them up, blowing fourth quarter leads yesterday. And it's not the first time that's happened in the past year and a half under Macdonald. So I think he's a better defensive coach than anybody we have. I think it would have been a better situation to hire him as the head coach. But I'm also not going to pretend and say that I would have done that the Monday after the AFC Championship game. And that's when Macdonald got hired a few days later to be the head coach of the Seahawks. So you have to be fair about that. You can't be mad at DaCosta and be mad at the owner. It's just the silly thing. Now, as far as Harbaugh's performance and what do we do now, yeah, you also can't fire him today, and you can't fire the defensive coordinator today. That's not you're just not being logical. You're just yelling and screaming for no reason. If you don't want to hear it, I guess that's your problem. But you can't fire the head coach and you can't fire the defensive coordinator 5 games into the season. That doesn't work either. So those conversations are for the end of the season, and it's just not relevant right now. Like, I don't know what the point is to yell and scream about that right now. The way I look at the Ravens is they needed yesterday to happen. I've been saying it now for 3 weeks. They have no humility. They don't realize that they're not strong enough up front. And that's the problem. They're trying to pretend as if it was something different these past 2 weeks. And we'll see what the press conferences are over the next few days. But to me, the message has got to be loud and clear, which is, man, like, just shut up and just try harder. Like, let's just try harder. I don't want to hear about the soft zone coverage or the schemes aren't good enough or the players aren't responding to the message. Like, all that stuff is for elementary school, middle school, and high school kids, or for grown men that are losers. You got to just try your hardest. That anybody that's like, oh, well, the message is getting stale. Okay. Like, what does that have to do with you just trying your hardest? So maybe they needed to get their ass kicked yesterday, have a quarter of the stadium just empty to start the game, to be like, yeah, this isn't fun to watch. Lamar's fun to watch. He's must-see TV, but not trying your hardest, not scaring the other team, not punking the other team. Like, we had Justin Tucker punk Travis Kelce at the AFC Championship game. Like, that's the identity of the Ravens has been off now for a couple of years. So, yeah, I'm not a Harbaugh fan, but I don't want to talk about Harbaugh today. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, it's Harbaugh's fault that they didn't play hard yesterday. Just think about what you're saying when you say that out loud. Like, that's what you want to talk about, because that's easier for you to say because you don't understand football enough to figure out why things are going the wrong way, or you just don't feel like it, and it's easier just to blame the coach. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't make me feel better. I'd rather figure out, is Travis Jones just not good? Is John Jenkins the wrong person to sign? Is Urban past his prime? Is whatchamacallit, Trenton Simpson any good at football? Was Buchanan good yesterday? Like, why can't we stop this freaking run? Like, it can't just be they don't like the message on Thursday afternoon when they're eating lunch. Like, who wants to hear that? This is professional football. So I'm not doing that. I'm completely disappointed by the run defense. The way Harbaugh said after the game, the pass defense sucks because the guys in the secondary, I don't know if they're that good at football. Like, Stroud is dealing yesterday, but guys are just wide open for NFL standards, just wide open. Malachi, I'm not sure. I mean, it's 5 games into a season also. So before you say that the young guys aren't good at football, it's something's not right. And I do think that a lot of it has to do with the scheme and the way we're teaching technique on the back end, because the secondary is it leaves a lot to be desired. There's just doesn't feel like we have the plan to put the guys in the right spot. Guys are just always open. The lack of adjustments. All those things are true. There's just not a fix that says you fire the defensive coordinator today. Like, I don't believe in doing that. If you're going to win the Super Bowl, and the team, it might feel strange to say it, but the team still has a chance to win the Super Bowl. Did you watch football yesterday? Like, the Chiefs are 2-2 and they're playing tonight. The Eagles lost yesterday. The Bills lost yesterday. The best team in the NFL is the Lions, except they could score nothing against the Packers, who somehow gave up a gazillion points to the Cowboys. Like, it's 4 or 5 weeks into the season. You have to go back and say, man, we're going to be 6-6 here by the time 5 weeks left in the season. Like, we're going to be fine if Lamar is going to come back. If Lamar's going to come back, and I imagine he will. I don't know if it's this week or it's the following week, but I don't think Lamar just punts on this season. I just don't see it. I think I was questioning his injury situation mainly because of the lack of communication. But just thinking about this big picture, I just think that the Ravens are going to be 6-6. And if you want to throw everybody to the wolves today and be done with the team and just, that's up to you. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to imagine that we're 6-6. I look around at the rest of the league. I think about the 2 years that we actually won the Super Bowl and think about how crappy we all felt in October in those 2 seasons. And really, the second Super Bowl, they fired the offensive coordinator and got blown out by the Broncos in week whatever it was, 12 or 13. So just let's pump the brakes here. We still have the best player in football because I watched a lot of football yesterday, and nobody is Lamar Jackson. So you still have Lamar. Let's just, I guess that's my my take this morning, is just listening to everybody and reading the commentary. It's like, I don't know why everything's going to be on the coach today. That's for an end of the season situation. The Orioles did the same thing. It's all Brandon Hyde's fault. It's like, if you want to get rid of the coach, do it at a different time. You don't just blame the coach now when he's doing the same thing he's been doing, right? Guys need to try a little bit harder. Guys need to tackle a little bit better. You got to have more pride. And if you just want to think that it's the coach's fault, I'm not with that. That's not how you fix the program. Who are you going to replace them with anyway? You're just going to bring in Monken? You give me a linebackers coach? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. You got to – all right, end the rant. But where I'm at with the Ravens is we're going to be fine. We're going to be 6-6 and have a chance here to make the playoffs if Lamar comes back. What needs to be fixed, what absolutely needs to be fixed, besides just trying harder and Zach Order coming up with a couple of schemes, is we need to figure out who's the actual leader of the team. Now everything's up in the air. Who's going to turn on who? I'm actually not in a bad mood this morning because I'm like, it's gut check time. That was so embarrassing, so humiliating. Now the cream has to rise. This team is not going to turn into the 2007 team where they just go 5-12 and the season's over. Like, Lamar's too good at football. So because Lamar's on the team, I just imagine we're going to be 6-6. Even if he doesn't play this week and we're 1-5, I still got us at 6-6 somehow. So that's my take on the Ravens. It is what it is. Yeah. So I'm more frustrated myself for going 1-4, to be completely honest with you. And I'm more frustrated at people who are willing to blame the coach because the team doesn't try their hardest, as if that's the coach's fault. That is just not in professional football. I don't even think it's true in college football, but maybe college, but not professional football. If you really want to criticize Harbaugh, and then I'll get out of here because I don't know who else wants to keep listening to this, but if you really want to criticize Harbaugh, then you criticize him by saying he's never been that great as an NFL head coach. Like, that's the argument. But you're going to have a hard time doing that when his first year as the head coach, we went to the AFC Championship game. So then you're back to it's only Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, and then Flacco got hot. And, it's a tough hill to stand on. If that's the hill you want to do it, good for you. But just remember that the main argument against Harbaugh is that he never was a good coach ever, because there was never a single season where you were like, yeah, now's the time to get rid of him, unless you never wanted him. There was that 3-year run where we sucked after the Super Bowl, and they were about to get rid of him after year 4 is going down the drain, and then Lamar saved it. So after that, there was just never a year to say, hey, now I'm done with him, unless you were never done with him to begin with. He's certainly not Kyle Shanahan. If you trade for Kyle Shanahan, the Ravens probably go undefeated. They probably have already won 2 Super Bowls, because there's a handful of coaches, and Harbaugh's not one of them. He never has been, never will be, that can fundamentally change outcomes in the NFL. And then you have most coaches who are going to be relatively in the middle. And then you have a couple coaches who are net negatives. Like, that's the structure of NFL coaches. There's only a couple of them. Andy Reid, Shanahan. McVay's got a nice coaching tree, but can I see him produce without Stafford? He's running to Stafford. Shanahan to me is a level above that. So there's just, I don't know. You just got to take the long view here with the Ravens. That's my take. It's been a fun ride for 18 years now under the Harbaugh regime. If you never liked him to begin with, I'm not talking to you. But if you're the one that thinks you would have gotten rid of him, at what point did you realize that he wasn't a good coach? After the 2023 season? That just doesn't make any sense. So, and we're stuck with him for this year. So it doesn't even make sense to get mad at him. He can't do anything different. He can switch up a couple words during the week. It's time to start holding these guys accountable in the front 7. That's who needs to be shamed, because that's not Ravens football. You want to give up 1 million points on the back end so be it. The rules change. You can't touch guys. I don't understand how to do better technique in the defensive backfield past my pay grade. But I do know you can try harder and get off some effing blocks. Like, don't let that happen. That's not Ravens football. That's my take. All right, I'm done. See you guys. Have a good day. God, figure out if I can win the game tonight. Whatever. Jeez, this Chiefs Jaguars game. So, all right, bounce back. See ya.